Yeah. Got it. The Queen Bee almost gave us the veto yesterday. Because she hates the roundabouts.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Come get you by the rescue, where to go. Don't make the best of this task known as wine. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, in the end there's right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hanging on a shelf in good health and good. As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people that means more activities. More golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. See, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So, let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order.
You
Go
like
to
this
ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's
OCG-19.
1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Save big money in your next project at Menards. Get cleaner clothes and softer skin with our selection of Morton water softeners. Water softeners can extend the life of your plumbing and household appliances. Plus, Morton's Wi-Fi integration allows for tracking and alerts, which puts you in control of your water. Hurry into Menards to pick up your water softener today and check out Menards.com to see all of our great deals going on now.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at so many universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he's having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. I also noticed that he's letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he's telling them that he's doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality he just wants them out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something that's wrong. Leon and I talked about how we're changing our lives, but he was there beside me, and my message to him was just the best.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit ALZ.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. Earth Day is past, but you don't need a holiday to make an impact. Check the car's trunk and remove heavy items to improve gas mileage. Stock up on reusable bags to use in the grocery store, all when you're keeping a fuel in your car. And be sure to store recycling bottles, cans, and papers. The simplest things are often the most effective. When we each share one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing? Family Talk with Straight Talk.
Give and receive. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose to join your family plan starting at more $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family, or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting low, $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find it at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management plans, visit StraightTalk.com. Family plan getting high 4 lines, all on the silver unlimited plan. Tax and apply. Flying out of Detroit Metro Airport and need a convenient place to park? U.S. Park on Middle Belt will transport you quickly and safely to your terminal. Save money today at us-park.com. That's us-park.com. Put it in park with Mark.
Visit AutoLaw, Auto Accident Attorney. Visit AutoLaw.com. That's AutoLaw.com.
For $79.99, you're going to want to hurry. Supplies are limited. Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher. You're listening to the Infinity Sports Network. Can't you stop your lips from flamming for just a minute? This is the Rich Rivera Show. I gotta tell you a little enough right now. Jason, that's actually kind of that story. You can tell us more. I don't know about you guys. I'm not like this big self-help guy, but I am about motivation and leadership, just trying to make myself better every day at work to try to make myself better. There's a couple of things that I'll think about every day. One of them is an old Joe DiMaggio saying. There's a story that goes, the late in the season, the Yankees had already clinched the pennant and going to the World Series, and
These guys threw me off yesterday.
DiMaggio hits a little number to shorter up the middle of the second base, out by a country mile.
Well, I'm going to be doing instant replay.
And he gets back to the dugout. Obviously, he's going to be out. His teammate looked at him and goes, "Joe, what are you doing? Save yourself. We got the playoffs coming up next. You were out by a mile. Why were you running so hard at first?" And he said, "There's always somebody seeing me for the very first or the very last time I owe them my best." And it's kind of been it's been my motivation. It's why every time I turn the microphone on and I jump on the radio, I work as hard as I can, because there's somebody's going to be listening to me for the very first time, for the very last time, and I owe them my best. And I think of sitting with my grandmother in her kitchen. This is going to sound really cheesy, but my grandmother would sit there and she'd make tortillas. And I could still hear her, the cadence of her slapping the dough together.
Nothing.
And then she'd put it down on the table, and then she had a rolling pin. She'd roll over the top of it, she'd pick it up twice, and then she'd put it on the stove to cook. And she would just sit there and she'd make like 10 dozen tortillas, because she had a big family. And I'd sit there with her, and we'd listen to the Giants game, listen to Lon Simmons, and that's one of my most fondest memories, and why I'm the biggest sports fan that I am today, because of her. So when Jason was telling that story, I think of her all the time when I do the show. Like, are there people listening with their parents, their grandparents, their brother, their sister, their work? I think of everybody listening in the middle of the night that's in a truck right now driving somewhere, so I can have paper towels tomorrow or gasoline. I think of the guys that are sitting in the firehouse right now, working in a hospital. I think of the police officers that are on patrol right now. I think of the military folks that are far away from home. I think of the guys driving tow trucks right now, and the people working in grocery stores and working at hardware stores, restocking the shelves. I think of all of you right now. So when I do the show, I want to do it and give you my very, very best. And to hear that story from Jason about he grew up listening to me and his grandfather, it just means the world to me. So too many times in life we forget to tell people how much we appreciate them. So I'm just going to give me this little second here to just tell all of you, I appreciate all of you listening to me on the radio, and it means so much to me that you let me be a part of your life for the 4 hours that I'm on every time I get a chance to be on here on Infinity Sports Network, and every station I've been around in the country. And it's fun because I've worked both sides of the country, and I've been on in St. Louis, I've been on in Boston, I've been on in New York, I've been on in Miami, I've been on in Tampa,
been on in Orlando, been on in Arizona, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Sacramento. I mean, I can go through all the places I've done local shows, and then the baseball teams and the football broadcasts that I've done, and then the national shows that I've had here and at Fox, and the old Sports Fan Radio in Las Vegas, and Prime Sports, and Sirius XM, and MLB radio, and all the rest of that have been around long enough that there's folks that will recognize my voice or recognize me or hear my name, and the fact that you might have listened to me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago when I started in Bakersfield, California for my very first show, to now, when I hear stories like that, it makes me feel so blessed that I'm able to do that DiMaggio thing. I owe you my best. So that's why his phone call meant so much to me. So if I get a little emotional, I apologize. Let me go to Beck in Florida. Beck, welcome. You're on Infinity Sports Network. What's going on, brother?
Man, I don't want to keep it with the grandpas, but shout out to Alex. But with Granddads and you being a Florida guy and your team, if you don't mind me asking you a question with your team. But I told you in the past and everything, my granddad, running back, Marines and UF, and Golick was on your show a couple weeks ago. That was awesome. That was awesome. And, of course, the Brodsky connection with Emmett Smith and everything else. That,
so do you know, hold on a second, let me tell you this. Do you know that Bob and Mike's dad, there's three Golick boys. They all played at Notre Dame. Bob was the most successful. Mike's the most famous. But Bob's dad, Big Bob Golick, he had his choice between playing professional football or playing in the Marines, and he made more money playing on the Marine Corps football team than he would have in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. That was the story you told me last time. And when I actually heard him, that was awesome. I was like, please bring him on once a week or again when you're
I'll tell you, man. We talk.
So bring him on.
I'll make him a regular. When we get to the football season, I'll make him a regular. So I'll do that for you. Listen, I love Bob. He's my son's godfather. I don't get to talk to him enough, but you know what? I like it. I think I'll start bringing him on as a regular. That's a good idea, Beck.
And then speaking of grandfathers, when I was a kid, I'll never remember driving around Miami, and my dad or grandfather was listening to either Hank Goldberg, I think was the AM, and Edwin, reading the Miami Herald with the Edwin Pope.
Edwin Pope, yeah. Oh no! I never met the Hammer. I have met the Hammer, but I didn't know him. But I would listen to him, and Edwin Pope, one of the best writers the country's ever had. So 100%.
And then with your team, how about, speaking of Florida, my grandfather playing running back for Florida and Brodsky and everything else, how about your team, the Niners, taking 2 Florida people in the first 2 picks? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, they needed somebody to stretch the field. That's why they went out and got Pearsall. They needed somebody. They need a lockdown, especially you bring Marvin Harrison Jr. Into the fold. You think of all the great wide receivers. I mean, you want to talk about the NFC West between everybody you've got at SoFi Stadium with the Rams. You're going to bring Marvin Harrison Jr. into the fold. You better have some defensive backs if they're playing this division, because everybody can check the ball down the field, and you've got guys that will run away from everybody.
So that seems like you like those picks then. I mean,
I do.
Receiver, I talked to my Niners guy I've been talking about in the past last night. He was thrilled about that because, again, you had Keon Coleman, you had a bunch of the Mitchells, the Texas guys, the Florida guys, a bunch of things. And for your first pick to throw that Gator guy out there, it seems...
They wanted, and I saw him at Arizona State before he went to Florida. They needed somebody to extend the field. They needed someone to run a deep route because teams are sitting back in a one deep zone, or one deep. They didn't respect them going deep. So what they'll be able to do now is, if he can extend the field, whether it's Ayuk on the other side or Debo, now I can get 3 different levels. So I have Christian McCaffrey in a shallow route. I got Debo or Ayuk in a middle route with Kittle, and then I can have Pearsall extend out and run that post pattern to extend a defense. It just puts different stresses on the defenses. And if you look at the film, I didn't have that deep threat stress so I could try to bunch up in the middle of the field. That you saw Kansas City do that last year.
Yeah, good. All right, Godspeed, man. It's good always talking to you, brother. You have a good one.
Thank you, brother. That's awesome. 855-212-4227. Guys, don't forget, I'm going to get I'll get everybody's telephone calls. I promise I'm going to get everybody on the air. But right now, let's check what happened to the NBA tonight, and what's coming up on Saturday as well. Let's throw it to our Infinity Sports Network Sports Flash. Here is our very good friend Marco Belletti.
Infinity Sports Network. Sports Flash.
Yeah, where my arm's gonna get
despite
grabbed.
drafting his apparent successor before he even put the uniform on. Falcons turning heads with the selection of Michael Penix Jr., but he's not concerned with all that outside noise.
You know, as far as like
And this
what
could be the
anybody
spot
else feel
right up
about,
there.
You know, the decision that was made. You know, I have no control over that. All I can control is what I do and what I bring to this team. You know, and for me, I know that I'm gonna be a great leader, not just on but off the field as well. And I'm gonna be a great person and a great teammate.
As for day 2, the Bills began the round with Florida State wide receiver Keon Coleman, followed by another receiver in Georgia's Ladd McConkey going to the Chargers. Michigan running back Blake Corum, he went to the Rams in the 3rd round. Looks like the Super Bowl may come with a Monday off in the future as the league mulling moving the game to President's Day weekend, along with adding an 18th regular season game. NBA playoffs, Anthony Edwards poured in 36. T-Wolves dismantled the Suns 126-109. Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns combined for 37 points and 27 rebounds as they're up 3 games to none. Meanwhile, Wild one in Indiana, back and forth, big shots, including a Tyrese Halliburton runner with 1.1 remaining. The Bucks still had one more chance.
Connaughton gets it in. Middleton one more time. Negative. From the left side, it was a difficult shot. He caught it, and he had the square, and there were defenders in the vicinity, and his luck. Well, that's not fair. He wasn't lucky before, but the magic that he's had tonight finally ran out.
42 and all
This
for
could
Chris
be the
Middleton,
spot
but
right up
unable
there.
to get that to go. The Pacers outlast the Bucks in overtime, 121-118. Tyrese Halliburton, 18 as part of a triple-double. Pacers have a 2-1 series advantage, courtesy of the Pacers
Yeah,
Radio Network.
except
Other
he
games,
might be
Luka
playing
Doncic, 22
cornhole.
points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Mavericks race the Clippers 101-90.
brags.
They're up 2 games to 1. Russell Westbrook, PJ
Yeah,
Washington,
he might be
both
playing
ejected in the
cornhole
4th
on
quarter
the
in this
field.
one. A little shoving match. Checking the hockey playoffs, Edmonton dominates
this
the
could be
Kings
the
6-1.
spot right
They're
when
up
we
2
go
games to
past
1.
it.
Avalanche scoring 5 times in the 3rd. They pulled away from the Jets 6-2 to take a 2-1 series advantage. Canucks held off the Predators 2-1. They're up 2-1 in their series, and the Rangers, a game away from the sweep, turned aside the Capitals 3-1. I'm Marco Belletti.
This is the Infinity Sports Network. Follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Infinity Sports Network. That's Infinity Sports Network to follow us on Instagram.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple
And
that
this
had their
could be the
maintenance fees
spot
go
right
from
up there.
$800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation
I
to
see
determine
it.
the ED medication
Yeah,
that's best
except
for you.
they'll probably be
Discreet
playing
shipping is
cornhole
prescribed,
with your
a
family.
100% online process
No.
with a range of treatment options, including trusted
It
generic
brags.
alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is
At Greg's,
personal,
they
and at
have
Hims,
it.
So is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider
attend with
online
them
for free.
at
With
Greg's.
zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free
We
online
do.
visit, you need to go to this exclusive
at
address.
Greg's.
hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
This Week in Tigers baseball brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Even when the snow is falling during these early season games, outfielder Kerry Carpenter says keeping warm between the ears gives him an edge.
You just gotta want it more. It can be such an advantage because there's so many guys that will go out there and just be miserable because of the cold. And if I'm up there acting like it's sunny and 75, then I had the advantage. And so that's kind of where you gotta get to in your mind.
This Week in Tigers baseball brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers are changing the game with their impressive family of SUVs, like the popular Chevy Equinox. Equinox is the perfect compact SUV. Its sporty style is versatile and spacious. Its safety features surround you with security. And with technology like an available built-in Wi-Fi hotspot, Chevy Equinox keeps you connected wherever you go. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
Online betting can be fun. It's kind of like whitewater rafting. The rush of excitement, the thrill. Well, until your raft is heading straight for a huge waterfall. For tips that will help keep you afloat, go to don'tregretthebet.org. Sponsored by the Michigan Association of Broadcasters and the Michigan Gaming Control Board. Have a gambling problem? Call the Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117.
When you're a foster parent, you play a lot of roles. Provider, giving a foster child a safe home, healthy meals, and hope.
You're always there.
You're a cheerleader. Your family. You would do anything for a child in your care. Every day is different. Every need is different. But one of the most impactful roles you can play in life is being a foster parent. See why at michigan.gov/hope for a home. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Get some reusable bags for the grocery store and recycle paper, bottles, and cans to make every day Earth Day. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
99. You're going to want to hurry. Supplies are limited. Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
This could be the spot right up there.
Yep.
Right here, right at this intersection.
Yep, could be.
You're listening to the Infinity Sports Network. This radio station will remain on the air day and night. This is the Rich Herrera Show.
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. It's Rich Herrera with you here on Infinity Sports Network. Number for you to join us, 855-212-4227, with you to the top of the hour. Then I turn things over to Carrington Harrison coming up next on the stations around the country. By the way, Carrington lives in the Midwest, so I did want to make sure that I mention. I know there's a lot of storms. Kansas City got hit, Lincoln, Nebraska, a lot of tornado storms. It's going to be about 4 days. The Midwest is going to get hammered with storms. So thinking of you, please stay safe. Please stay safe. I just want to make sure that we recognize that. And again, we do this for entertainment, fun, get your mind off of things. We can laugh and argue about sports, but when there are things in the world, I do recognize those going on. But our job is to talk about sports with you. But I do want to mention that I'm thinking of everybody in the Midwest. and in particular those places that are just getting hammered right now, like Nebraska. So, with that being said, let me go to Gilberto in San Diego, California. Gilberto, ¿cómo está, mi amigo? ¿Qué pasa?
Muy bien, gracias, Rich. ¿Cómo has estado tú?
Oh, muy bien, mi amigo. You notice every day we talk, I just try to throw one more little Spanish phrase in there without stepping on myself.
You're doing great. You're doing great, okay?
One of these days I'm going to learn to speak Spanish.
Hey, you need to come down to Tijuana, okay, for a week.
You know,
okay.
Howard Bryant is a writer. I think he's at ESPN now or The Athletic. When he was a beat writer for the Oakland A's, this like 20 years ago, he needed to learn how to speak Spanish. The A's had just opened a new facility in the Dominican, and we're getting a lot of foreign Latin players coming in. So Howard needed to learn how to speak Spanish. So he actually went down and lived in Mexico to learn how to speak Spanish in immersion. So he went down there for a couple off seasons to learn how to speak Spanish. I've always thought about it. It might be fun. I'll try it on Rosetta Stone and stuff, and I'll get a little better each time, but not enough that I can have a conversation.
Well, listen, if you don't want to come to the border town, I will. If you can spend 6 months in Puerto Vallarta,
that's what I could do. I will do. Yes, give me Cancun, Puerto Vallarta. Heck, I'll take Rosarito Beach, and I'd be happy.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Rich, I've been listening to you, and you're having a great show again today. And I know the subject is about the NFL, and I'm really happy with what the Patriots are doing right now. The changing of the guard, and like most teams, their 3 picks are offense: a wide receiver, a quarterback, and a guard. So I'm really happy and
this could be
waiting
the spot
to see
right,
what Gerald
right
May
here.
is going to do with Alex Van Pelt as his offensive coordinator.
Right.
It's going to be an interesting season for the Patriots with the Belichick era over, and now with the new the new chief in town. I like that.
Right. You know, again, everything changes. Father Time, Mother Nature, never are undefeated. I like Drake. I think he's got an opportunity. I was going to ask you this, though, because I know you're a big Patriots fan. Did you see Belichick on TV at all this week? He was friendly. He was nice. He had great stories. He was so different than the... we're moving on.
Yeah, I saw him. I don't want to... I won't mention the show, but I was surprised when I saw him.
Right.
But the thing is that I've seen Belichick for 25 years, and I know I known of him since he was with the Giants back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I listened to the interviews through the season with the players and what's going on, and everybody says that he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Everybody says that. And I don't know why some people in the media, in the sports media, or hot takers, I call them, a lot of hot takers.
Right.
They want to smudge his name. They want to say something.
They want to make their name off of his name.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that, but it is what it is with some hot takers.
Right, and it's a little bit of him. If you can help me do my job, then I'm going to help you do your job. But if you don't help me, and sometimes you go out of your way to make my life difficult, then I'm going to make your life difficult. And I think that's what happened with Coach Belichick towards the end, is that, he doesn't have to go out of his way to help us, but if he did, he'd get treated a lot better. But because he had been kind of a grumpy stick in the mud for so long, that when the end came, everybody got their pound of flesh out of him because he had done things like not giving me a quote, not helping me get my job done, and they took it out on him.
Now I have a question for you.
Yes.
If the Falcons...
This could be the spot right at this intersection.
Right.
Do you think they would have taken the quarterback they took?
Where I'm going to shake.
No, because Belichick would have figured out, he saw with Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo, you can't have an established quarterback who's the face of your franchise.
Looks like nobody's at the doctor's office.
And have his
like the
understudy
parking lot at the
sitting
doctor's
right there.
office
So,
is empty.
You know, you talked about it. Where did
Must be
Belichick
closed on
and
the
Brady
weekends.
start to break up? When he went out and drafted Jimmy Garoppolo to be the heir apparent. Starting quarterbacks, no matter who they are, don't want their heir apparent in the building. They're too insecure.
I will have to say that I don't agree with that.
You do or you don't?
I don't.
Tell me why.
Because you need to have a plan B. Now, the reason that it didn't work is because Brady outlasted everything. He's a phenom. Nobody did what he did. And at the end of the day, Garoppolo was entering his 5th year.
Right.
And they were either going to have to tag him. So they went to him and they said, where do you want to go? Because Brady's going to stay. And they gave him the choice. And he chose the 49ers.
Right.
And that's why they traded him.
Right. But see, Cousins feels the same way as Brady. Cousins isn't there to play for a year and have somebody take his job. Cousins is going to compete. Anybody who's a starting quarterback in the National Football League better be an alpha. They better be a dog. They better think that they're the best quarterback in the building, if not the best quarterback in the league. Otherwise, they don't have the confidence to lead your team. So if you're Kirk Cousins, remember this, Silberto. A lot of professional athletes are driven more by pettiness than anything else. They'll take anything that's an insult to give them that extra 0.5% that the rest of us just don't know how to find.
This could be the spot under here.
All I can say is that Kirk Cousins is the luckiest quarterback I've ever seen. The guy has
one of the wealthiest.
Oh yeah, the guy has made so much money being average, never winning anything, but he's got a start. And
don't hate the player, hate the game.
I don't. Oh no. I don't hate Cousins. I listen. I'm happy for him.
Right.
That he got what he has gotten. Okay, and he is a big boy now. He's got a 2-year contract basically, but still, the Falcons messed it up since the beginning. But anyway, we're gonna find out what happens. And
yeah, we'll see.
And on another thing,
real quick.
How about my Dodgers?
Just breaking my heart. Giants wanted a walk-off.
I listened to Miller with Cole. I was listening to the game.
No, listen, we're going to have a fun baseball season. Yeah, Patrick Bailey in front of Joey Bart. I love it. Alberto, I got to run. Thanks for the call. We go to Brock in Georgia. Hey, Brock, thank you for waiting patiently. You're next on Infinity Sports Network.
Okay.
Brock.
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy, how are you? Good.
I'm doing fine. I was talking about the Michael Penix.
Yes, sir.
Avid Atlanta fan from Decatur, Georgia, and all the calls, you know, I'm with Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris. I think they're doing a good job. Because I look at the last 3 picks that Fontenot has made, none of them been a bust. Last year, you know, we gave him a lot of static about picking Bijan Robinson. Now we love him.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I think Bijan Robinson's a real deal.
Yes, but, you know, we gave him a lot of slack for taking him when we took him.
Right.
And you look at, everybody says, oh, we shouldn't have took Michael Penix. We need defense. We need a top 5 defense. But tell me who you would have took on defense. There's no studs on defense.
No, absolutely. This is a quarterback offensive heavy draft. That's why, you know, I'm laughing at people like, how come nobody's taking defense? Because there's nobody on the draft board that you had that high up. I get it. I love Michael Penix. I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the National Football League. He's got all the tools. I'm a big fan of his. I just don't know how I develop Penix and try to win with Kirk Cousins, who's unestablished, has no credibility in the locker room. He hasn't won anything yet, and they already have his heir apparent. It's a tough situation because guys in the locker room, the young guys might gravitate towards Penix. The older guys will gravitate towards Cousins. And when you have a division in the locker room, you have a big canyon of a gap in the middle of your team, and that's not a way to build a winner.
Right here.
Yeah, good point. That's a good point there, Rich. But what I also would like to say is, I had Michael Penix as my 1B at all of college football behind Dayton James. I don't believe in Caleb Williams at all.
I'm there with you. I'm not a big fan of Jaden because I don't think he's big enough physically to take the pounding with the style of football that he plays because he's mobile. I'm not calling him a running quarterback, calling him a mobile quarterback, but I've seen him take some monstrous shots that he could survive in college, won't survive in the NFL. So I'm right there with you. I think Penix has got all the tools to get it done. I think the kid out of Carolina does as well. And I look at McCarthy. That guy's a dog. We'll see if he turns out that his attitude and everything else takes him over the top. But I think you've got 6 good quarterbacks, and I think 3 of them will turn out to be all pros.
Exactly. And if you go back and look at Roma Duze's
I got it.
highlight and the other highlights, man, all they got to do is run.
I would have taken him higher. I think I saw.
Okay,
like I said, I saw him play.
Yeah.
That guy is the real deal.
Nice screen
so
case
if
for
I'm
the
Atlanta,
first time.
as much as you're taking grief because I'm not sure how you're going to develop your quarterbacks, that second pick of Rome, look out.
I like
Yeah,
it.
Exactly. And but that's what I wanted to say, you know, to all the Falcons fans. And
have this road. Here it goes.
Don't say we should have took a defensive player. Man, that's
You need there was a need on defense, but again, if you draft for need, you're always gonna fail. You get the best player on the board because that's where the value is. That's like saying I need a car and I need a house. But I'm going to go buy.
Starting route to 26245 Clarita Street.
That's the worst analogy I can come up with.
In 1.7 miles, turn left onto West 7 Mile Road.
Got it.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
For what it's worth, it was worth all the